Come and sit down.
Yeah. Right.
My dear friends, I am ecstatic, and I'm going to make you ecstatic too. My friend Austin Fernandez is here, and he came to me in the year 1212, right, Austin?
2011.
2011.
Yep, June of 2011.
And you were a junior in high school.
Yes, indeed, yes.
And you got me through how many years of public access TV?
Directly, maybe
10?
4 or 5 directly, and then a couple more, like, indirectly afterwards.
And then you were the valedictorian at what high school, dear?
That was Ichabod Crane High School in Kinderhook, New York.
And then?
Class of 2012.
Then you went off to Northeastern University.
Yes, in Boston, Massachusetts.
And your major was psychology.
Yes.
And you were set to go to graduate school straight through for a PhD in psychology?
Yep, the original goal was to become a clinical psychologist so I could do research and do therapy.
Well, I have the answer to all psychological problems. Would you like to hear it, Austin?
What do you got?
Go out and do something nice for somebody.
It does help.
That's the end. Then
help.
you feel fine. Austin, then you change your major to environmentalism?
Community development, technically. My area of focus is environmentalism. And
tell me what that is, honey.
It's essentially, there's a lot of different ways of looking at it. One of the more concrete ways of looking at it is the usage of like plants and trees and other green, like nature stuff in our urban design and in our infrastructure design.
Interesting.
It's very important. It acts as like, a sponge for water, both in terms of flooding. It can reduce flooding, and it also can help with drought, periods of drought. It's good psychologically. It has a lot of positive psychological benefits to be in close proximity to nature. It's cheap in the grand scheme of things. It's very cheap. Planting trees in a city has one of the highest returns on investment possible, like in terms of most infrastructure projects, because they're relatively inexpensive, and but like in a simple way, it's like even just the shade. The shade that the trees provide soaks up the sun, and rather than being heat that makes us warm, it's used as food for the tree. And so it makes it so it's not quite as hot. And so they're really helpful in keeping cities in particular, because of how much pavement and concrete there is.
Okay.
Trees are really good for making them not as hot in the summer, and oftentimes maybe a little bit even less frigid in the winter. They break up wind.
Okay.
All that kind of stuff.
Now, Austin, you received a fellowship from Vanderbilt University?
No. So I applied for a PhD in community research and action at Vanderbilt. I got waitlisted and ultimately did not get in. But they offered me a half-tuition scholarship for their master's degree version of that program.
Whoopee! You had to be pretty good to get that.
Community Development in Action.
You had to be pretty good to get that on account of the competition.
My goal was to focus on using like urban forestry and whatnot.
4:00 p.m. 76.3 degrees Fahrenheit.
Thank you, little clock. That little clock, folks, tells me the interior temperature, which is constantly 78 degrees the whole year round in this room. And so then, Austin, you got a job after you got a degree. You have a master's degree?
Yes.
And what is it called?
Community Development in Action is the degree name.
And Vanderbilt University ranks high. What's the number in the college ranking?
I think it said it was 18, I think.
No,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Harvard is only 3.
Yeah.
So you did all right, Austin.
I mean, if that's how we're measuring success, then sure. But I think for me, like, the thing that was more valuable was being introduced to some of the more I ended up going into city planning because infrastructure is important to me. You know, it's because our infrastructure, you know, the services that it provides us and the way that it affects how we're able to live our lives are really important, and they have a lot of magnitude. You know, it's if you don't have a sidewalk to walk to the supermarket, then you have to walk on the side of the road, and that's way more dangerous. It's like lots of stuff like that. You know, how can we make cities in particular, at least that's my focus right now, safer and make it cheaper to live in them? You know, like I don't have a car, and I live in Nashville, and Nashville's a very car-centric city.
Now, Austin,
You know?
you got a job for the city of Nashville,
Yes,
Tennessee.
I work in the Metro Nashville Planning Department.
What's it called?
The Metro Nashville Planning Department.
And how big a department is that there?
Big. There's approximately 90 people.
No.
Yeah, seriously, 90.
And what is your title there?
I am a Research Planner 1. So the planning department is split into basically two wings. You know, there's a couple more people in the middle in the administrative side, but that's details. There's land development, which is the people who do all the paperwork for all the permits and stuff. And then there's long-range planning. That's where I am. Long-range planning is the more abstract stuff. You know, it's looking at regulations and ordinances, reaching out to the community and getting people's opinions and kind of doing our best to ensure that what people want is the way things go, hopefully. It's more, it's about setting up plans for 5-10 years down the line, you know.
Okay.
Versus land development is about what's happening right now.
Was it hard for you to get Christmas off so that you could come back home to Kinderhook?
It would have been, but luckily I was able to do some remote work, so I was able to work remotely for the last couple of days, which gave me enough time to get up here, and
Listen to this, folks. In all those years, he never forgot Glennie, and he never lost his faithfulness and his loyalty. And Austin, I am so happy about that, and I deeply thank you, dear.
Yeah, it's...
You started out when you were 18?
17.
17.
Yep.
And now you're...
30.
See that, honey? And you
Very
never
recently
forgot.
30, yeah.
And you went to Boston, you went to Nashville, and you never forgot good old Kinderhook and Rensselaer County and Columbia County.
Yep.
In upstate New York.
Yeah. It definitely... I'll be connected in some capacity indefinitely, as far as I can tell. You know, I may not be here all the time, but at least some of my family is always going to be up here.
You betcha.
And so I will be around here and there.
So what was the first thing that happened when you came to see Glennie today? What was the first thing she did?
We wrote a list of things to do. Very immediately getting back to old times of like, all right, here's the list. Let's start going through it.
Can you get a close here? Pat, give it to me and I can get a close-up of it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, give it to me, honey.
I'll go grab it. And we are, we're still recording. It still looks good.
Right. Oh, you betcha we're still recording.
Yep. Do you want me to get it, or do you want me to get it, or do you want to do it?
No, I'll hold it up.
Okay.
Honey.
It's still, here is the tripod. Use that as a handle.
Oh, no. Put that back where it was there.
Yeah.
I need the list.
Oh, the list. Okay. Oh, never mind.
And we had to call our friend Wayne Collins in Pittsfield to get him to take down the list over the phone. And then when Austin got here, we called Wayne for Austin to take down the list from Wayne. No, could I have the list, honey?
Yeah, sure thing. Let me just set this back up.
I'm sorry I misinformed you.
Yeah, I thought you meant you wanted to... you wanted me to bring over the camera. Okay, I am acquiring the list. The font is almost definitely too small for you to be able to read. Just as...
Now, is that right side up, honey?
That's sideways. That's right side up.
There you are. There's his list.
Do you want me to I hold it closer to the camera?
Like this?
I mean, well, they're looking at the back. You're looking at the front.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah. Just hold it up like there. Yeah.
Right there. Is that good?
I'll look on the screen and see how it looks.
No, we tried the first one and we.
I don't think anyone would be able to read it from there. Here, let me see. Yeah, that's legible enough.
Thank you, dear. And the first one we failed on, Google. Why will you not dial extensions? When you call a number like Proctor Theaters and there's 9 extensions, you say, Google, please dial extension 1. And she won't do it. We couldn't figure that out.
Yeah.
But we had fun setting the new alarm clock.
Yeah.
And this is an alarm clock for late sleepers. Well, Austin, what are your last words? We're going to close the video.
Let's see. I guess I'll try to shove in something I've been learning about related to my area of study. I guess I'll encourage anyone listening or watching or whatever to give you gotta give space back to some of the plants. You know, if you have a yard or if you have property or a place that you're able to do it, try giving some of that space back to not just lawn grass, but like bushes or flowers and that kind of stuff, because we're very rapidly cutting all of it down, and it's less where the animals and the bees and stuff are running out of places to live, and they need somewhere to live. And if you give them a little bit of space to live there, they'll be around, and they are cool to have around. They're very beautiful, you know. You need having little birds flying around and bees.
Symbiosis.
And stuff. Yes, exactly. Strive for symbiosis.
Symbiosis.
So give them space near you to live, so you get to live near them, because they're very cool.
Now again, this is my deep, deep, darling friend, Austin Fernandez. And this is a chat with Glendora, and this is Soul to Soul. And today is the day after what? Christmas, day after New Year's? What is it?
Today is December 23rd, 2023. So we're 2 days before Christmas.
And
or the day, Christmas Eve, maybe?
And 2 days after the winter solstice.
Yes.
Second day of the new year.
Days are getting longer again.
We love you, folks.
Nice.
Keep the courage flaming. And remember, when all is said and done, the only thing that really matters is how did you treat others. Austin's going to go up now and turn off the camera.